Hi guys, welcome back to Yorkshire Car Restorations. In this video, we're going to be showing you how to properly skim and prep those arches up after repair. So, taking your freshly repaired arches from bare metal to primed and ready for paint. So, let's grab some tools and let's crack on. Right, so we have this repaired panel. What we're going to do now is we're going to start making this so that it's nice and flat. The first thing we're going to do is we can't put filler or anything on top of this shiny surface. So what we have to do is we have to key this in and we have to feather these lines back a little bit. We can also get any dents and scratches at the same time. We are going to be priming probably to about here. That gives us a good 4 or 5 inches above where our repair is. So the first thing we're going to do is we've started that already with a 180 grit. What we're going to do is we're going to use the dual action sander. This rotates as well as oscillates, so I've got best of both worlds. We're just going to do it with a 180 grit sanding disc at the moment, and we're just going to take back wherever we need these scratches, these dents, this nasty bit of door edge here. We're going to do that as well. And then we're going to start popping some short strand fiberglass on there, and then a little bit of filler to shape it out. So the first thing we're going to use on this is, now we've keyed it in, we're going to use a short strand fiberglass paste. We use short strand because the long strand tends to drag. You put it in, as you're moving it pulls it back out again. Bizarre. But if you put short strand in there, it tends to stay where you put it. Now we're only putting short strand fiberglass filler because you will find occasionally, due to the fact that this is very thin metal, this is also very thin metal, and with welding it's hard not to produce the few pinholes. When you produce those few pinholes, I can see one there, maybe one there, maybe one there. Now some of them you can't see, so the short strand fiberglass filler is waterproof. Now if you put filler straight on there, any water that may come from this side, it'd saturate that filler because it is very porous. It soaks up any moisture or anything. So what you have to do is you have to put a waterproof layer down first, and then from there you take that back so it's just a thin layer, and from there you use filler to actually produce your shape. Right, bit of cardboard, spreader, and short strand fiberglass paste. Now there are a lot of products out there. Most of them are good for the job. They do what they say on the tin. There are some better products. Some of the Isopon, the Sprint's fairly good. They're easier to sand, so they're easier to work with. The end product is still the same, usually the same. So just buy whatever's available to you. Now you generally need to maybe a tennis ball size pile of filler. You usually need about a pea's worth, size of a pea, maybe just a little bit more, maybe a pea and a half of hardener. Again, as long as you've got that hardener in there and you mix it well, the less hardener you put in there, the slower it's going to set, but it's still going to set. So if you think you've put a little bit too little in, don't worry about it, it'll still set. Now we're not using this to build anything up. What we're using this for is to give, so don't try and get any shape with this, we're using this to give a sealed surface. If you're going to build something up, because we shouldn't need to build much up here anyway, if you're going to build something up, fiberglass is the way forward. Now this surface here is a flat surface. We're going to try and keep hold of this flat surface. This is your wheel arch edge. And all we're going to do is make sure we've only just covered that weld. By the way guys, if you're enjoying the video, please leave us a like and press that subscribe button because it does help us bring you more videos. Okay, so we know it's ready now because when we get to this fingernail, scrape it, we've got nothing left under the fingernail. It's nice and hard, but it does leave a scratch mark. What we're going to do is we're going to take the DA and we're going to get an 80 grit this time and we're going to knock this back. We're going to try and keep our edge level first, and then we're going to shape this a little bit just so we can just see the welds. As soon as we see the welds, we stop taking it back. But we're not going to let the DA drift past any of this bare metal line because we don't want to have to prime further than we need to. As we say, an 80 grit sanding disc on there. If you don't have access to a compressor, you can actually get electric ones of these as well, and you can either rent them or you can buy them. They're not expensive. Right, so now we've got this fiberglass layer on, we're going to put a filler layer on, this first filler layer. It might take 2, it might take 3 layers. This first filler layer, we're going to apply it past the edges of both sides of the fiberglass. Probably by about 1 centimetre, 1 inch, it may be a bit more, it all depends on how the filler lays. So we're going to skim that up first, we're going to rub it down with 80 grit, we're going to skim it up, we're going to rub it down with 80 grit, and we might skim it up again and rub it down with 120. If not, we'll just go over the last skim with 80 just to knock it back, and then 120 to finish it off before primer. Right, for the filler, we use ProWorks Swift. It's a nice easy sanding filler. Nice to work with. Again, the mixing ratios are exactly the same. If you've got a 10-inch ball size of the actual filler itself, you need the size of a pea as your hon. So it's ready for sanding down. What we're first going to do is we're going to knock it back with only to take this greasy layer off it, because they do have a greasy layer to them which blocks your sanding disc instantly. So we're just going to knock it back a little bit with an 80 grit and a DA, and then we're going to move on to the same 80 grit, but we're going to use a sanding block. Now you can, whichever you're confident with, a bigger sanding block is better, but I'm okay with these. Right, now we've knocked it back, we've taken all the edges off and the roughness off, but we've still left it a little bit proud. We're now going to drop onto an 80 grit and a rubbing block. Now when you do the rubbing block, don't do small areas. You want to be doing a lot of area all at the same time, so big long movements across your panel. Now when you're trying to shape it up, what you shouldn't be doing is looking for the shape. What you need to be doing is feeling for the shape. Now that looks fairly flat. When I run my hand over it, I can feel it's a little bit low here. It's got a high spot here and a high spot here, so it's low here, and it's a little bit wobbly down this back edge. So you want to be feeling the panel as well as looking at it. Right, so we've got all this skimmed up in 2 skims, which is good. What you saw me do is I used some of my hand as the contour. Now the block is very flat, but this panel isn't. So you can block it off as much as you can, keep it straight, keep it level this way, so you haven't got any ripples going that way, but you're not going to keep it straight that way, not with the block anyway. So what you can do is you can use your hand as the former, and you basically just grip there and use your hand as the former to take out some of these little ridges that you're going to create in there. Now as you can see, we've gone right up to here with the 80 grit. We've caught it up here because we have gone a little bit further than we thought we might. So what we have to do now is we've got to just feather those edges back with some 120 grit just before we prime. And same with the filler, we just feather it back a little bit just to take out all those deep scratches. Right, so now we've got all those deep scratches out with that 120. What we're going to do now is we're going to key in the rest of the panel with a Scotch pad. That's so that the shiny surfaces have all gone and we can prime onto them. And then about 4 inches away, or as far as we can, here it gets a little bit closer, but it's no issue. We're going to mask up around there, down the door shut, across the bottom, and then we're going to prime it. Okay, so we're going to be using a 2-pack primer again. That is 2 parts primer, 1 part hardener, and a little bit of thinners just to water it down a little bit.